Good day, everyone. Happy Tuesday or Insightful Tuesday. I'm going to comment a little bit about the Admiral Halsey. I believe his name is Halsey, the Black Admiral that recently resigned his commission over pretty much one-fourth of the earth as a commander of the southern part of America. And as always, when there's a huge wave of movement, the creator of the universe will turn my attention to it. I'm sure I'm not the only one. There are others, but I wanted to give hopefully some spiritual insight into what is going on. The military knows. They know what is really going on because I can tell you that some of the anointed of God's chosen people has reached out to the military. Those who are and who have once been in their ranks. But of course, it's not enough for the chosen to speak like it were in biblical or ancient times, because for most, they have absolutely no power as far as movement in these United States. But they do have power on the other side of the realm of reality. I believe in the Bible it says that when Jesus, I guess, was talking to his disciples, and there was an incident that happened, that they were saying, why don't you just do this if you're just so big and bad? And he says, do you realize that if I wanted to call down a host of angels, that would happen? And I'm telling you that it is the with Jesus, the Christ, the Anointed, the Messiah. So it is on a greater scale for those who are chosen in this moment. Even those who have served white supremacy and white supremacy rule in high places, like this particular admiral. I'm not saying he's a bad man. From all accounts, it sounds like he was an honorable man. And most black men who have gone up that high, including black women, they have definitely earned their seat, and two, their ether is to do what is right and is to follow the rules of laws or conduct that this country has set before all of its citizens, political and otherwise. But the greater amount of that power of that political system oftentimes has shown that they have no intentions of obeying anything that they have written in their constitution, which is why some people say constitution. And here flagrantly we can see that this is happening right in front of our eyes. They're not even trying to hide it under smoke screens and mirrors. And so this is calling everybody with power to come to the borderline. Where do you stand? Where do you stand, generals? Where do you stand, admirals? Where do you stand, captains? Even the infantry, where do you stand between the Constitution, between that dividing line of right and wrong, and those that may be mafiosos, more so than politics? Now, of course, I don't claim to know the ins and outs about the bombing of fishermen ships. It seems like there is a consensus that some of those boats were not carrying drugs at all, or what the president was claiming that they were carrying. And so innocent fishermen may have been murdered or executed for no reason. And I want us as Americans to really consider this. This country in your name, and I'm talking about white people in particularly, And yes, I'm beating up on white people a lot because there's a lot to whom much is given, much is expected. And so wherever you go, the country goes. And so I want you to imagine that if that um, were to happen to you when you did your No Kings protest, pretty much one can claim that nothing but innocent civilians marching. And from what I understand, your president was willing to, if there were enough black people to give him reason, he was willing to put the military on you, which is really not so different than the military that has been put on these people who are not even citizens of this country, who are not trying to immigrate to this country, but are trying to perhaps eke out a living for themselves with all of the mafioso style tactics that are bleeding wherever they are residing in South America, bleeding them dry of all their resources so that, a very rich person can buy another mansion that they will not live in and only visit maybe once or twice a year. And that this is something that you have tolerated for centuries, even at your own expense. How many admirals, commanders, and generals has this administration pissed off? How many? How many are at the line or to the point where they'll be willing to do the unthinkable in order to produce justice? What has happened here with Admiral Halsey is a good thing, because while he has walked away from the devil's children or offspring, may by God he walk to the children of Yahuwah. May he give ear to the open call that may be speaking to him now in his heart and in his mind, like all the others. May he be but the first of many that simply say, forget this. I'm a man or a woman of integrity. I may not be perfect, but I do respect life, even though I'm in defense of this country, not to extent that I'm going to go full mafioso and just be a henchman for people who are rich, not of their own esteem, but because of their own bloodline and their inheritance and who their parents were and the devilry that they did, that they may profit off of the deaths of innocent people anymore. And if you all decide to do this, then may the Father and Mother of heavenly lights bless you on your way out into new life and new health. And if by chance the words of those who are anointed find you, I beseech you to take them to heart, to listen to them, and act accordingly if they so deem you to do so. Not all rights of command come through military school. Some are bequeathed by the Most High God. And He usually takes the least of these and puts them over the greatest powers ever known, sometimes not only to the earth, but to the universe. Not because they're so smart and so good, but precisely because they are fallible and probably not so good and may not be up to par to what this nation would expect them to be. But that is what the creator of the universe uses. Why? Because that so that you all may know that it didn't come from the smartness or agility or adaptability of that particular individual, but that what has happened and the power behind that person comes from the Most High, from the creator of the universe, by whatever name you use to describe that intelligent supernatural force. Now, we are dealing with gangsters that were the architects of this country, and their ancestors, or excuse me, progenitors, are now operating as they have already operated always. They are done with their rule, but they are refusing to slip out of the chair and go on about their business, and willing to take a wrecking ball to the country itself. And this is the reason why you see the actions that you are seeing right now. And it's not only just the country, but through the country to take a wrecking ball to the whole planet. And they themselves cannot escape this planet. They really can. I know that they tell you that, but do not believe them. The creator of the universe it will not allow them to escape nowhere. They're here with everybody else. And yet, you can expect that they will try to make a run for it. And before they do, they want to grab as much hoarded wealth, as much trinkets as they possibly can. They are not interested, nor have they ever been interested in a more perfect union. And I wish people would just understand that. What they have always been interested in is themselves and those that are like them, namely their own family members. And they have been around for hundreds of years, one child after the next, trained up in the same way as their fathers and their mothers. That is an unbroken chain. Please believe me. You can trace it back, and many people already have. Do not be deluded. They look at the whole of humanity as useless eaters, even though the majority of human beings are not responsible for the destruction of this planet. But that doesn't matter to a Satanist. What a Satanist is a person who hates God's creation in all its forms and would like nothing better than to continue to keep destroying it. And I know the words that I'm saying are very harsh, but you're going to have to consider these people in three-piece suits with, enormous bank accounts and, obscene prestige in the world. You got to recognize that they hate humanity. They absolutely hate humanity because Satan and the demons have hated humanity even from the beginning. Now, I don't know what the backstory is on that, and at this point, I can give a shit. All I want is for people to live and to live well, and the illusion of this world to be destroyed so that we may see the truth and see this planet and the new world and the real reality come forth and through, so that we may live in that reality and not live in the constructed lie that we exist in, horribly, by the way. And we're always told that the truth will set us free. Well, the truth is this: it's going to be violent. And since the Secretary of, War, Pete Hegseth, has stated clearly, all of you military generals, commanders, and those in high station, lieutenants or whatnot, you have a decision to make right now. Who are you going to serve? Are you going to serve Satan, or are you going to serve God? Are you going to serve wrong, or are you going to serve right? You're going to have to make the same decision as Admiral Halsey has made today. And like for the rest of us, the consequence of those decisions will be felt. Some for everlasting life, and some for death. America is not going to escape judgment. She isn't, or actually he isn't. I think it's a male. I think America is definitely a male, not a female. He is not going to escape judgment. And judgment is playing out as we speak. So which side are you going to be on? And if you're on the side of right, if you're on the side of the angels, then you're going to have to do something that you may think is beneath your dignity. And I'm talking about the ones who will decide on the earth and the people in it. You're going to have to bust down on your knees and humble yourself before Jehovah's servant, before a Yahweh servant, before the Most High servant. And more than not, that person is going to be without degrees, without accolades, and most certainly will not have all the accoutrements of military honors. It's a humbling process if you can take it. And if not, then not. But it will not stop the march of time, and it will not stop the kingdom from unfolding and manifesting. And unfortunately, that manifestation is due to be very, very violent. Now, some of you are in stations where you know exactly what's going on in the heavens. You have more intel than most. And you can prove some things that those of Christ's administration can only speak through the Spirit. So it's up to you at this appointed time. And that time may be 24 hours. It may be 72. It may be 2 weeks. I don't know. But I do know that time is ticking. Nonetheless, my prayers remain the same. And I, for one, am glad to hear that one Admiral stood on business and decided, hell no, I'm not going to engage in your final depths of devilry upon humanity itself. So praise due to all of what the Admiral Halsey has had to give up and the decision he has had to make. I don't think he's going to be starving anytime soon, but at least he decided rightly. The question is, what will the rest of you do? We are entering a very bloody moment in America. And everybody is now being forced to choose a side, whether we like it or not. Choose the right side. Choose righteousness so that it may go well with you, even if you think it's beneath your dignity. What else do you have to lose? This country is already gone, and not from lack of trying from the descendants of American slaves and others to save it. It is gone because it is run by a criminal organization and demonic spirits that were its inception of existence. And so here before us is the fruit of right and wrong. And those who have power and mechanisms to produce justice are going to have to choose. And I hope that you choose rightness. But I know some of you will choose wrongness to use your mechanisms to work toward that aim. You will lose. You will lose it. We have already let go as a people. Those of you who are choosing the right side, then there are some things that you're going to have to contribute. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Thank you.